Yo, my name is Jarreau Vandal, and you're watching Toasted.
Welcome people, we're at Pitch 2016. I'm Stephanie Verwonder.
And I'm Jarreau Vandal.
Well, and I'm gonna interview this new and hot producer and DJ here in Amsterdam. So, tell me something about yourself.
Right, I'm Jarreau Vandal, a 24-year-old producer from Amsterdam. I make music, I try to sing, I'm doing my best. I DJ, and I just enjoy life.
Yeah. So, hey, what I'm wondering, like, how did you start making music? Like, was it because of your parents? Did they give you like a lot of influence, or?
Definitely, yeah. My family is very musical. My grandfather is a producer. My parents were dancers in the club, like in the 90s. That's how they met, actually. And yeah, I started producing because I was listening to a lot of hip hop music, and I was wondering, like, okay, these beats sound like soul music, but they don't sound like the soul records from Stevie Wonder. What happened in between? And they were made by drum computers and computer programs, and I knew my grandfather was a music producer, so I asked him, like, can I mess around on your program? Whenever I was at my grandparents and I was bored, I started doing beats, and I was like replicating everything I heard. That was my first introduction to electronic music. Yeah.
So you learned it from your grandfather, actually.
Producing, yeah. But I was also drumming. I went to music school. I started drumming. And my parents, after they had their wild period, they went to church. I drummed in the church, and that's how I learned to play with a band and play with people and how to interact and perform slightly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like soul and gospel is a little bit like, you can hear the genres in your music, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, soul music, jazz music, hip hop music. Actually, all black music mixed with a little bit of hardcore, house, and Dutch music. That's my sound. Yeah.
Well, it's a lovely sound, to be for sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
And where did you study it actually? Like, did you just roll into music, or did you go?
Well, before I actually started doing shows and before I got a little bit known, I studied at an art school in the Netherlands, and there I learned about synthesizers, all the technical stuff, and without that education, I couldn't have done what I'm doing now. Like, mix-wise, my beats didn't sound as good, and I really needed that in order to get better at what I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it made me realize I wasn't shit, because I thought I was doing great, and I was doing okay, but it really opened my eyes. Like, there's more to music than just staying in your room, smoking weed and making hip hop beats, you know? Basically, that's it.
There's you can have a living about that, you know, like if you can do it good. And do you have that living? Like.
Yeah, I can make a living out of music now, mainly because of playing shows, doing remixes, and giving workshops, DJ workshops. I actually learned DJing from one of those workshops, and now I'm doing one at the same time. Now I'm doing one. So that's pretty crazy how fast everything went for me. And, well, it all started with my music being picked up by Soulection.
Yeah.
Because I did a party with electronic music. Basically, the party was like Pitch, but then in a club. It was really small. We started off DJing ourselves. Then we started booking people, and one of the guys we booked was I Am Nobody.
Yeah.
And I was listening to his music. I really liked the stuff he did. It was very soulful, but eclectic and electronic. And I played him some of my beats, and he really liked it. And he told me, like, yo, give me all of your beats, and I will give it to Joe K, the head of Soulection. That's a label from LA where I release music. I don't know if you know it, but...
Well, I know, but can you maybe tell us, the people that don't know what Soulection means and what kind of label it is?
Yeah, Soulection is a music label, internet platform, and they push electronic music with a soulful sound. And it was mainly internet-based, but they blew up in the past few years, and I'm very happy to be part of it. And if it wasn't for Soulection, I wouldn't be where I was now too.
So, like, Soulection, it really made your career like in a lift, right?
Yeah. It really pushed me to where I am now. I mean, I can make a living out of music, and not everybody can say that. And I'm very grateful. And yeah.
So how, like, there's a lot of other people DJing and producing. So how do you compete with them?
like I used to see it as competition, but I kind of looked past that, and everybody can learn you something. And sometimes I play a show that doesn't go as well, and then people give me feedback, and I feel bad about it because I put my heart and soul into the music, and whenever somebody tells me, look, it wasn't as good as expected, I take that and it motivates me to do better, you know. And I always try to prepare my sets. Ever since I started preparing my set last summer, I played Appelsap Festival.
Yeah.
It was actually the first time I prepared my set. I made edits, and the
it
crowd
was a
went
hell of a set. It was a hell of a set.
Oh, you were there too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I was there too, and it was a hell of a set. Like
Yeah.
the way he moved the crowd, it was beautiful. Like the way he wanted it to be, yeah, for sure.
And ever since that show, I have to do better for myself. I can't do less than that. So, yeah, the pressure is high,
Yeah.
but that's good. That keeps me sharp.
Yeah, and it keeps you learning, right?
Yeah,
It keeps you
yeah,
learning.
yeah. So it's no competition, only competition with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm wondering, like, what kind of things do you want for the future? Like, where do you see yourself in like 2 or 5 years?
Well, when I just started, one of my goals was to put one song on 22 tracks, and that worked. I got one track on.
Shout out to 22 Tracks.
Yeah, shout out to 22 tracks, definitely. No, one of my songs got selected by 22 tracks. I was very happy, and you always got to work step by step. You can't just reach your goals all at once. You gotta take your time. One of my other goals was to release an EP. I did so. It's doing very well. I'm happy. One of my goals was to drop a song where I sing. It happened. The next thing is do another EP, create a live set, sign to a good label that can support me and push me, so I can do more, because sometimes I've noticed that money is a boundary, and with a label you have a huge force behind you that can push you, and then you can pursue your dreams more than you could have done if you didn't have a label. So yeah, and I just want to become better, a better musician, a better singer, and a better person. It sounds very cheesy, but that's really what I want.
I think there's a lot of beautiful life goals to have.
Yeah.
So
Step by step, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm just chilling. I'm having a great time. I just saw Anderson .Paak. He's drumming, he's producing, he's singing, and I'm super inspired.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Like, one of my goals is to do shit that he does, you know?
Oh, really?
I mean, that level, I don't know if I will ever do it, but at least I will try.
It's a really big compliment for him, so yeah. I hope he hears it.
Well, maybe he sees it. That show was amazing, bro.
The show was amazing, I saw, yeah. It was shout out for him. Well, I think I want to thank you for the interview.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking the time on this busy festival. There's so much great artists walking around, and you're taking the time to sit with me. Shout out to Toast.